Hello, my name's Helen-Jane. Most people call me HJ. I'm an integrative psychotherapist and work within the mental health and well-being sector as an advocate, amongst other things. I'm really overjoyed to be asked to be part of the team of the Be Well Collective. I think it's something that's vitally important to support young talent today. I also believe that a holistic approach is what will support long-term mental health and mental well-being, and I believe the Be Well Collective provides that, everything from nutrition to looking at sleep, to looking at breath, to looking at psychological health, which is a bit more where I come in. My passion is around supporting individuals within the fashion, entertainment and arts industries. I myself was a dancer for many years and a choreographer, so I know firsthand what some of those pressures can be. I know how amazing it can be to work within the industry, and I know what a toll it can take on your sense of self, your self-esteem, and other issues like that. So it feels really important and vital that this collective has come together at this time to offer the kind of support that I would have really welcomed back in the day. I personally had self-esteem issues when I was working as a dancer. When you're constantly going for castings and you're constantly putting yourself forward as the product you're selling, it really can take a toll on that. And you can get caught in a negative thought process, which was something that happened for me a lot of the time. So I suddenly realized that I was putting myself down constantly, I was talking myself out of jobs before I'd even got there, and therefore I didn't get jobs for a while. Afterwards, I was actually quite successful, but what I did was I went and sought help. There wasn't help there, it wasn't readily available, but a friend of mine knew somebody whose mother was a counsellor, and in the end I went along and spoke to her, and that helped enormously. So when individuals come to me and they're struggling with things around body image, low self-esteem, negative thought processes, one of the things that I start with is to support them to raise their awareness. So I think that's vital in terms of your well-being and resilience and capacity to have a sustainable career. The more you can understand yourself and what's going on for yourself, emotionally, mentally and physically on all three levels, the more you can have a choice, have a sense of self-agency, do something to shift that. So if you notice that you're in a constant low mood, for example, what we might start with is look at posture. You know, does that affect your posture? When you feel low, very often we get a bit collapsed. So we might start with doing something like changing posture and notice how that changes how you feel about yourself. Another thing that I spend a lot of time with people on is supporting them to understand their nervous system. So when am I in my window of tolerance, as I would call it? So the window of tolerance is where we feel we're operating at an optimum. So it's when things are going well, we feel confident, we feel grounded, we're sure of who we are and what works for us and what doesn't, we're clear with our boundaries. That would be sort of the optimal zone. And that's where we hope to operate from most of the time. When we're constantly under pressure of castings and having to look certain ways and going along for interviews, maybe being rejected, or maybe having an amazing time on a job and then afterwards feeling a real low, it really can impact our nervous system. What tends to happen is we tend to come out of that window of tolerance at the top. So come out at the top end means we're often very anxious and stressed. The more anxious we are more of the time we'll go up there. What I hope to help you with is to give you skills to support you to come back into that window of tolerance. The other way that it can be impacted is with low mood, and that would be going out of the window of tolerance at the bottom end into what I would call a hypo-aroused state, which is a low mood state, which can lead to depression. 1 in 10 people over the age of 18 suffer from depression at some point in their life. Anxiety disorders and issues are much higher than that statistically. So it seems really important to have that understanding of what, as is the window of tolerance. When you go out with a low mood, posturally you're more likely to collapse. You're going to be caught in negative thought processes and loops. And what I would do is help you certainly look at your posture, look at movements, help you understand some of those negative thought processes and to shift them into a positive mindset. So to counter a negative thought with a positive thought, and also look at what's the evidence to support that negative thought. You know, I'm not worth anything, or I'm not good enough. Well, where's the evidence? Well, I didn't get those castings, so of course I'm not good enough. Well, is that true? Is that all of who you are? It's not all of who you are. So to look at some of the areas in your life at that point where you feel more confident. Why do you feel more confident there? And to bring some of that in. So it's about really raising your awareness to yourself, to your nervous system, to your physical state, your emotional state, and your mental state, and how these will impact. It's like a loop.